Part of the I got two right now. Like, well, it's for sometimes when it just comes back, it's kind of so they don't say wait, the party was we have a cafe in 100 office. It was but the hot yeah, just
I want to
yeah, this is where open like
I love them. So I should make that cool.
so yeah, perfect, great. Oh. Yeah. I think the like we're probably that's why you keep that always because we had cameras up and we had cameras on them. Sometimes it's like, oh, no, no, so what? I mean, I see it on the whole time. They're like, even though they're alive, I hit them all fish on the top. So, Number again, I forget one. I love that show. No problem. All right, here we go, folks. Call to order the town council meeting for April 2025. Roll call, please.
Our newest council member, Eusebio Morales,
President.
Councilmember Wellman, sir. Councilmember Leezy, here. Councilmember Dennis.
Here.
Councilmember Malone.
Here.
Chairman Slang.
Here. All right. Next on the agenda is our oath of office. Everyone has that, that needs to do it, so please can. All right, right hand. And read with,
Repeat with me. I, your name, Swear or affirm that I will support your action and the Constitution of the United States of Florida, against all enemies, and foreign, and I will bear true faith and loyalty to the state, and I will support the Constitution. And I will faithfully perform all the duties of the office of the town of Newbury. All right, state your name. Sign it and date it.
Okay. For Don. Enjoy that. That's not even only sworn in.
No, you're only after sworn in. Everyone who has not been elected does not have to sign. So that's what. Just you, the mayor, and how many councilmen? One, it's just two or three.
We had done it before.
Yeah, he has to. Only if you got elected.
Okay. Only if you were up there telling us that.
Or you're, if you re-elected or no.
Not everybody.
John will sort it out.
Whatever. Okay. We'll just stack them up, John will do everything, and that's their, PDF common. And fire rescue, you're up.
So you guys were looking great, you know, the property signs, always love to see that. The only self-contained excavator call was the suspicious person. It was the deputy that stepped out with that person at approximately 12:30 at night, and almost 7. Nothing came of that. There was no report generated, so I don't know what the outcome was, but they were not arrested. Otherwise, there would have been a case. Generated. But other than that, you guys were looking great. No property crimes. Always love to see that. I don't know if with the last meeting I mentioned the Bitcoin scam. Last meeting. Okay, so we've seen a rise in that throughout the county. Just keep in mind, a person like you had a victim lose $65,000 out of their retirement fund
Wow.
through a Bitcoin scam. I am proactively working on a project here in my district where at each Bitcoin ATM, I want to post a warning flyer on behalf of the sheriff's office. Hopefully that will, catch some people early on. But it's typically over the phone. The scammers are calling them and we get them scared in the moment and then they make these large transfers. And once that money is gone through Bitcoin, it's almost guaranteed to be a permanent transaction. I've only heard of one case where the lady was able to get her money back, but that was, I feel like, once in a lifetime case. So just keep that in mind.
Seniors.
Exactly.
They targeting seniors.
Yes. So our last victim with the 65,000, unfortunately, they were a senior citizen. And it just breaks my heart to see that. Everyone's worked so hard their whole life just to have it stolen right out. Terrible. So just keep that in mind. Remind family, friends, neighbors, Bitcoin scams are hot right now.
All right. That's it.
That's my thing.
Okay, well.
Anything I need to be aware of?
No. Very good. Thank you.
I'm probably on school dates this month. I won't cover my other meeting.
Yeah. We're ready.
So is it?
Hey, here we go. Good evening, everybody. You all had big salt, there's nothing, that's one of the norm. Yeah, that's two or three. You had to take 2 of them being medical, one of them was a hazard situation, it could be anything from athletes to runoff to, yeah, because very broad. One MIA call was going over last, what I gave you the annual report, and like, we come back, check out this and that, we had some type of in terms of previously, yeah, the person, no, I can't really get specifics of what was, we know something we came back. One vehicle accident and one water. For the turnout times again, that's what I harp on with my crews. They're at 34 seconds, they're required to be at a minute, 30 seconds, they're doing it almost a minute now. Which is great stuff. 34 seconds from wherever they're at the station, they have to get in the truck. So, that happens to turn out there. For fire rescues, anything that's coming to that. So,
I just had a question, the water related incident, was that the canal related or?
Yeah.
like a boat
Yeah.
accident? Okay.
Car now,
Okay.
a little more on water since we get out of this area.
Got it.
All right, any questions, comments, for?
We have other events that you don't need.
Not at the moment. No.
Hopefully, but no.
All right,
Well,
well, very good. Thank you. Okay, do we have any public comment?
Nope.
All right, moving along. Then we just need the approval of the agenda. Have a motion, have a second, all in favor? All right. Next, approval of the minutes that are distributed and deletions, additions, corrections. No? Take a motion to approve.
So.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. Finance report. Any questions for John?
We're in net income category, you know. For a large deposit that we'll talk about soon. We have net income right now of about 10,000.
Good, beginning of the year, sort of middle of the year. Any finance? Questions, comments? It's such a notice of.
That's a bank account, storage account.
Not gonna send me fund or anything.
No, don't do it.
If they don't give us any money, they won't pay us interest. But, I mean, they don't, that's the best one that we've been able to.
We get approximately $700 a month interest.
We went to change to get just one at Stewart's, and then when they call it, we just municipal, we're like, no, it's great.
You can't.
We can't give you that kind of money.
Thanks.
So, okay. Then moving along to the mayor's report. Oh, I got no secret. We lost a very popular, lovely, long-term resident this past month, and, I know it was a shock and surprise to everyone, and, she will definitely be missed. I know many of you attended the service, it was beautiful. He knew Patty, that's for sure. The town did send, flowers, we got a nice thank you note, thank you for the flower arrangement that has brought great comfort to us during this difficult time. Thank you for remembering Patty with such love, sincerely, the Patton family. I know they have a lot of people that are, you know, a lot of support, but at the same time, it's a time like this, it's tough, so. As said, a card just waiting and saying, don't worry. We'll be knocking on your door soon, so. You know, it's a tough time, but at any rate, very sad, and we just, as a town, want to make sure we continue to provide support for them in whatever way we can, so. That being, the next thing on the report, I did attend the CCAN meeting, which was the day after the last council meeting, with the citizens concerned with airport noise. Not a lot going on. There'll be some nighttime closures, in September through December for some repairs, which we'll talk about. One topic that we always try and push is another customs office in North County, which there was one in Vero yesterday or today. Because there's so much general aviation that comes in and out of here, just to clear customs, and really, you know, hopefully we can take a little pressure off. Also discuss the, you know, the temporary flight restrictions, particularly when, you know, the president is in town, which is a 10 mile and then a 30 mile. It doesn't really affect the commercial aviation other than just the stop. But in terms of flight paths for the others, it's general aviation is affected because in order to land while we're here, they have to make a reservation and they have to pass TSA checks where they depart, for their aircraft and their passengers. So again, something that people are going to get used to. There's going to be a new reporting format, and once they hit that, you know, we'll discuss that. Other than that, a lot of it was about North County. There's things that have been budgeted. The budgeted for the things that are to be done here or taking place. That's the new fire station at the airport. Creating the parking lot, that's their revenue center. So not much more than that. The other thing, we did agree to meet every other month instead of once a quarter. I just feel like we would do much of anything, and the good part for me, is that we agreed to meet the first Thursday of every month, so that when I'm planning, if I need to go somewhere, we're the first Wednesday and they're the first Thursday, so.
Smart.
Yeah, I was loving that. Next, in fact, next month, May 1st will be the Thursday, so I'll actually see them before the May council meeting, which will be good. So I was pretty happy about that. We had the League of Cities meeting that was in Del Rey at Arts and Rocks. John and, Doug and I attended that mostly. Talk of the transportation master plan, some of the other issues. John, I think, is gonna cover in his report or it's on the agenda. The next meeting, of course, is in Green Acres on the 23rd. Meeting starts at noon, lunch is served at 11:30, and after that meeting is the elected officials workshop, which I encourage everyone to try and attend. And that is from 1 to 3:30. And we have some good topics, and like I said, I've been going to these things for years, and I always learn something, so it's ever changing, and, I think this next meeting, it would be wise to just, as a council, what's covered, so that we're all clear on some of these things. So those of you that attend, let's, take some notes and be willing to share. But I'd love to see as many of you attend as possible.
And everybody, and I'll know that, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I already emailed.
Okay, so,
You can make your own reservations, reply to an email.
yeah. But it's, like I said, lunch starts at 11:30 and then the meeting, and then we'll stay for that. So, the other thing, Commissioner Flores, had rescheduled his ride along. And it is now April 11th, so that's a Friday at 1 o'clock, unless that changes. So that, yeah, I guess so. That's all I have for now. Anything else will be covered, either under report or old or new business. So that is my report and council report.
Just out of curiosity, at the meeting last month, I did look into the sign at the summit and there was, we were wondering about. Outdoor advertising, not outdoor advertising, so owns the property. There are two leases of cell tower on not conversation, so there was still. First of all, was Metro PCS, and then secondly, T-Mobile, which of course acquired Metro PCS, so essentially they're dealing with T-Mobile for a few more years. Then, in the meantime, Palm Beach Outdoor Advertising has sold the lease, just the lease, not the land, to a California company called Valentine Company, and they received the rent of T-Mobile for their site, and will become the tenant, the only tenant, and in about 2035, and then they'll be the tenant until 2065. So it'll be tied up. Do we have to deal with anybody there?
Yeah, I think it's on the agenda, but we'll just further down here on, is it on the agenda? No, not your one.
I talked about it last.
Yeah, okay, it's on your report as well.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to know, because it's not gonna have to put on the inside. Okay, correct. Thank you. No problem. Thank you, be here for you to get to it. Anybody else? No? Okay. Oh, and I'm really welcome to see you too. Welcome. Welcome to the council. Thank you. We're excited to have you. Very good. Thank you. Next is, attorney.
Got to do a couple of field trips for you guys this month. I had the agreement that you all knew I was gonna sign for the code enforcement case. I didn't want that to get lost in the mail because I had an eBay order that had tracking on it, it's on for 2 weeks in the ether somewhere. I'm not letting you stuff get involved, so I trotted that over to him, met with Mr. Klein, signed it up. He then got his client to sign it. I started talking to the other attorney who appeared at the code enforcement meeting. He, for some reason, was having trouble getting a hold of John, so he appeared in my drunk version of $15,000 check. John said, put it in the mail, and I have the same eBay concern, and I want this stupid thing to be over with, so I wrote this thing over to John, so it will not get lost in the mail for a couple of years. And just as a note, you guys are like a foundational client of mine, especially the new guy on the end. I've represented the town for about 35 years. I've represented them at one of my first clients when I started my firm 15 years ago. So I do these little favors for you because I like you guys and you pay my bill. So all these little trots around, I just didn't do it for because I felt I had done enough going for the youth.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
So, yeah. You've been around a long time, so you take care of each other.
We need to down the story.
All right, and that's pretty much it. John has the follow-up on that.
All right. Correspondence. I'll cover that too. John, you're up. Clerk's report.
We have received the permit application materials for the self-storage place. And those are under review right now. It's a $5.5 million project. Which is considerably more than what, Jocelyn planned. Permit fees for that are, upwards of $80,000.
For the whole project.
The building inspector, building official gets 20%. So they'll be getting 60.
80%, we get one.
80%, sorry, 80%. And we get 20%. So once that comes in, we'll be getting, upwards of 16 and a half thousand.
For the profitable one.
So that puts our bottom line in really, really slim shape. Mayor McLean signed an updated agreement with Philip and Jordan for trash removal during hurricanes, so we're set. Yeah, one of those lovely things comes through one of these days. And the check that Doug brought me was deposited the same day, so it was a cashier's check, so we didn't have to wait for it to clear, so it was right there, contributing to your bottom line of net income of 10 grand. I'm having a preliminary meeting with Granite Communications in West Palm Beach about phone and internet. We pay an exorbitant amount at Comcast for phone and internet, upwards of $350 a month.
For the plan.
And the security. So this guy called out of the blue, and I'm meeting with him next week and see what they're all about, what kind of deal that is, and how if it sounds like something worthwhile doing, I'll bring it back to you. But we pay a lot of money for that. I don't think we need to.
But do they do the storage of they have Comcast to the storage of our camera system and the memory and all that? Like the.
No.
Well, it's a 30-day.
So we
don't save it.
we do-
30 days.
Okay.
yeah, it's 30 days that I can access.
Mhm.
in,
Right, okay.
3 minutes.
Okay.
And then they disappear.
So one phone line and internet, 350.
Yeah, what camera system are they?
Well, the cameras at the time have power.
Yeah, it was got the.
Our internet, sorry,
Channel.
they're internet. They're hooked up to the internet.
Oh, okay. Where they're getting them. They didn't know the.
Well, I'm gonna see what this guy has to say, but we need to.
We had to run additional lines.
We had to run power and internet connection. Yeah.
Anything?
That's it. You can read the rest.
Sean, quick question.
Yeah.
Is that like organic waste and hurricane waste?
Hurricane debris.
Hurricane,
That's it. Free, everything, root,
organic.
sheds, everything. And where would we put it? They don't put it in a big old truck and they take it to the big old place where they either burn it.
What they do. No, well, in the event of, the event, what happens is they will give, they set up a time, but there's a certain time frame that everyone has to follow in order to get your reimbursements, and that'll be determined at the time of the storm, whether you have 20 days to get your first run. Then they want to get people to get all, to have an opportunity to get all their things to the terminal, to the room. And then, they will come in, they'll let us know when they're coming, and they will come in for a day, 2 days, whatever, however long it takes. And each one of and they have these sites where this debris is taken, is all set up. We're lucky, the one that they use is very close to us, but they come in and they have their trailers, Phillips and George Battles, they have double trailers, and they are marked with how many cubic yards of debris that they're taking. And we also now have a computerized electronic monitor system. There's a monitor that's in town the entire time they're here, and he tracks exactly how much debris is leaving town, and that's how it's always gets searched for. And they have a guy, I was actually last time, they were super on Tennessee. They have one guy, he's just on top record, delivering to the tank of one Bobcat. And what he'll do, if it's a smaller pile here, he would try and move some of the debris, so once the trailer is mobilized, because they couldn't get, like, say, all the way down Taylor, they don't wanna go all the way down to the end of Taylor Road, so they would mobilize and get all the debris there. They're a fabulous, fabulous operation.
The Bobcat guys, like ballerinas.
Oh,
They are just the most
And
incredible.
this one have one eye, you know, they. It was a riot. And anyway, so that's how that operates. What they'll do, they'll get. And then 2 weeks later, perhaps, and we'll know exactly when, and we notify the residents, they'll come and do their final pickup, right? And it depends on, they come through, there's evaluations on the amount of damage that you have, the amount of debris that they anticipate. But yeah, it's all very well calculated. I mean, there was a time we had to sit here and handwrite loan tickets for every
load went out.
load that went out. Now they send a monitor and send it, and it's all computerized. The trailers are, they have their going into a community. They can stand the trucks and they know what the capacity of the trucks are. And these, like I said, these guys had double trailers, and they were in and out of here, and night as you have them people up. Wow.
But this tree goes down, so I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, we go to a meeting in May every year.
Yeah.
That discusses this procedure through the solid waste authority
Yeah.
and gives us all the details of upcoming seasons.
And usually what happens, I mean, they're not gonna be here initially, when the storm, once the storm goes through, there's a tree in the road. You'll see every neighbor with a chainsaw and up there, and it'll be cleared up. And I mean, like I said, depending on the size of it, like one year, Matt Big Trees fell over. And so because of his business, was able to get them in here and get them pulled back up. But, it depends on what it is, but by the time you could get a service, because everybody in the brother needs a service at that point.
But this company. We're not gonna keep any cut up.
No. They're gonna haul storm debris. That is their plan.
This is what it's good to have a fearful of driving.
Yeah. But I mean, we've been lucky. I mean, the only time that we would have serious issues is if we had, a phone line or a telephone pole or something like that. That's across the roadway, and that's another story.
Is that an ad contract or is that something that you have to pay and then?
No, it is, we are contracted with them, and it's not going to effect until their storm is, and then we activate the contract. We don't pay anything for it until we do that.
Then we're reimbursed by FEMA.
Yeah, we pay, we may pay part of that up front, and then FEMA reimburses us. So there's a checklist, things that we have to do that determines the amount of reimbursement. You cannot follow FEMA's little guidelines and not get reimbursed for everything that you're entitled to. So, it's gotten a lot. It used to be pretty tricky, but then FEMA sends in their rep, and it can be kind of crazy, but hopefully it's gotten a lot better. But
Been 20 years, huh? Yeah, pretty close.
no, Irma, we had Irma. That was what, 7-8 years ago.
That was barely a much. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like Francis Williams.
No, that's why.
It wasn't Francis G. Williams.
That was.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks of no power.
I've been on the front end, people who have a contract with one, they come in and do like trimming along the wires, right?
That's,
you know.
I don't think so. So we don't have anyone.
we have nothing with that one. That's, you know,
Oh, they come in and do that.
yeah,
Okay.
they come in and they assess, you know, where they think the hazards are, and then they can ask one and, you know, their total plan.
Okay.
So, yeah, we don't have anything to do with that whole them at all.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, any other questions on that? No? Okay. Was that the last thing? And then we're moving to old business. We just had the second reading of the auxiliary dwelling.
Ordinance number 2025-2, an ordinance to the town council of the town of Leonard, adopting the minutes to zoning code to provide regulations for accessory dwelling units, aiding new building and sheds in the R1, R1A, and R2 zone district, providing a conflict clause, severability clause, and effective date for other purposes. The second reading of the ordinance.
That's all we need to do.
We did.
Public hearing. It's a public hearing.
Oh, okay.
So-
Any public?
Well, motion to approve the second discussion and vote. So, motion to approve ordinance number 2025-2.
First,
Second, please.
Okay.
Very good.
and second down here. Any discussion?
Well, I expressed my concerns about it, the ordinance, but having been uploaded for the one, the democracy, I accept that. And we'll go along with the flow. All right.
Any other discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Here we go, congratulations. Then everybody just needs to sign and send it back down. All right, the next under old business is the backwest photo update, which I think.
Well,
It's pretty much been covered.
The only thing I have to add is that I haven't sent that back to you. I'm ready to file. I went over to have Dorothy notarize it yesterday and unbeknownst to me, she used it through the deposit. Name that's good. So I'm gonna take it back over there tomorrow.
You do have our account number now.
Oh, who cares?
I looked at it, for deposit only. I still looked at it before I.
Still like white out.
We'll call for that.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, next new business, the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office Advisory Committee. John, you went to that. Gary, Sullivan was our representative on that board. John went to the last meeting. John, maybe you can explain a little bit what it is and what we need.
It's the Eastern Division, which includes us, of course, but the whole eastern part of the county here. I can't tell you exactly the parameters, but it's our greater area here. South Main to Atlanta. So, but they meet, I believe, quarterly. And to provide information and seek input from the communities. It was a rather interesting session because we were talking about the immigration situation and you probably read in the media that Sheriff Fred is not proactively deporting people and from Palm Beach County. So they talked about that a lot, and what the rules and regulations were and what their role was. It was quite interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be quite that interesting. I was pleasantly surprised. So if someone would like to take Gary Sullivan's place on that, that would be great. They do meet in the mornings. So
Is it once a month or?
I think it's quarterly.
For that?
Okay.
I really haven't leveraged.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Is anybody else interested? I mean, does that work for everyone?
I'll put your name in and
Yeah, let me know what.
hey, we'll go.
I'll get you covered.
Thank you.
Really, really questionable.
And they're kind of interesting.
And then you can report back to it. Absolutely, you know, it's only been less than a year probably that we had a representative on that, and I don't know that Gary even probably defended more than one or two. At the most, yeah, he been to several, okay. Yeah, seems like maybe last January it came up. Oh, that's great.
That was Karen.
Next was the infrastructure and sewer tax update.
Well, the bad news. The infrastructure surtax is a surtax that was passed in the county. And the communities got. Certain percentage of it, the school board got a certain percentage of it, the county got a certain percentage of it, for infrastructure purposes. We used it for new lighting on the porch, to repair the stucco on the garage. Things like that. That's going to expire in December. Which is not good
Did
news.
we not get, did they not get enough municipalities to renew it?
That's a guess.
Oh, okay.
So this is gonna expire at the end of December. For us, it was plus or minus $7,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So it's not an unsubstantial or insubstantial amount of money. So it's gonna disappear. So that will be reflected in the new budget from all this when we review the term.
Right.
So that'll take a bit of a bite out of the budget. So.
Okay, so I
I hear open on that.
so that was that the gas tax that he was
The
talking
gas
about?
tax, we all had to send in.
Right. And with that,
agreement.
enough municipalities did, send in their agreements, and 66% of that goes for roads.
Yeah.
33% goes back to the municipality. And the, 66 is about 25 million, and the remaining is 12.6 million.
And we've used that money for some new road signs, speed bumps, things like that, come out of that.
The municipal portion is prorated according to the lane miles.
Right, your lane miles.
And if you have a lot of lane miles, you get more money. So they got everyone, every municipality tied together, and then divided out by county.
It's like 6.6.
We have about five miles.
Ron, when that does expire, do we have anything to utilize before it expires?
No,
Or we use, okay,
no,
then we buy the power, we buy the power?
no, we don't have to use
It's money, real quick.
We've got the money. You don't already in it. We don't lose it.
Got it.
All right, next is the vulnerability grant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is right.
We've talked about this several times, I think. There's a state requirement that municipalities have to do a vulnerability assessment for flooding. And it's a process that costs money. So thanks to the county commissioners, somebody put together a grant for the five smallest or six smallest municipalities in Palm Beach County, and we're one of them, to pay $1.5 million to get this vulnerability assessment done. Alice and I decided, all you gotta do is look at the map and see that we're surrounded by water. There's very little question about that. There are a number of different agencies involved in this. They really don't yet know what they're doing, so far as we can tell. I had a Zoom meeting with them yesterday. First thing they're doing is trying to come around to each of the municipalities and do a presentation to the residents. Ours, in conjunction with Flood Lake, is scheduled for April 22nd at 7 p.m. in Flood Lake Town Hall. There will be a presentation, basically a death by PowerPoint. And as an overview of what this project is going to entail, although we're not quite sure we understand what that is yet either after watching the presentation. Nevertheless,
Really good at it. It's like the name of
it's, yeah. So that's the 22nd of April, which is a Tuesday night, 7 p.m., Cloud Lake Town Hall. There will be posters put up. There'll be something on the website announcing that. I don't know, they're taking care of all of that. No. And we don't have email addresses for anybody, so that's not a viable situation. I don't know, they sort of talked like they were gonna go around town and put posters and flyers at everybody's house. I thought, we'll see it if that comes to pass. So,
I feel like we needed all these things, and because we want it.
no,
We want to bring it.
they're bringing their own material.
We try to explain to them,
Who we are?
Yeah,
you're not gonna have, 100 residents.
yeah, they think there's gonna be a large turnout, which maybe there will be. Now, put that on your calendar because we certainly would like the town-
Yes,
we would certainly like the town council to be there, even if no one else.
Yeah, we kind of know about this.
We do. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, any other new business? Alright.
I had a, sorry, just a question, have we had any more followers or subscribers at all?
I haven't looked recently.
Okay.
The last I looked, we had 9.
Well, you don't have me listed, but I'm on there. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Well, every time he does
I
a
haven't
letter, he reiterates what we need to do.
Yeah.
Well, if there's something important, I put it as an alert, so it pops up right when you log in.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll direct you to some other site, so even if it's not, even if people aren't getting announcements or anything. All they gotta do is log into the website and that pops up for an important announcement. You always create a QR code and print it, see it on the wall, so that was in the. Yeah, with the phone, they'll check the site.
Great.
Good, you'll do that.
I'll do it, no problem. Cool.
Okay.
I love that. It's very easy.
Very, yeah.
Alright, say, final comments. Anybody, anything? Here, Pat.
The only thing I'll say is that median coming into Leverage, they haven't replaced that sign. And the other night I saw another car just skirting the.
Yeah, I just want a picture of the sign we need to.
We're in the process of getting a hold of the town
We're working on it.
to do that.
I see these little reflector things on Facebook that pops up in an ad, that you stick to a car. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about it last week. I'll try and get on
And that sign in front of the building.
the real estate sign.
Hey, you have to do that.
I'm wondering why we won't let them put more signs up.
This, that deal with the, have you had a chance to talk about the light yet, or?
Yeah, they're ordered. Now, I didn't order one for Churchill because there's one right at there's one right at the end there already, so we don't even know. I ordered one for the entrance of town, and one on the pole, I think Gary Sullivan's got it.
Like,
40 days.
Okay.
Well, 40 days, I'm like, replace.
Allegedly, 40 days.
Yeah.
It's all submitted. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
And that's not the guy that's doing it. That's the guy that's covering everybody.
I'll keep on their backs about
Yeah,
it.
well, all right, anybody else? Public comment?
And I'm sorry, and that deal is for the, we're still thinking people in transformers, right? Like
Oh,
what,
the burying of the.
Yeah,
what they supposed to put the transformers on the ground and.
yeah. Yeah, we haven't heard any update on.
They originally said May, but.
Yeah.
I think they originally said March. They were gonna start in March.
I mean, yeah, the guy who came to, I thought it's May, but
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. anyway, they haven't done it
Yeah.
yet. Okay, Claire, anything? All right, council? All right, then I'll entertain a motion for adjourn. All in favor? All right. Thank you all.
So QR codes just get straight to the website. Literally. Is that where I can make it, I can make it to the web?
No, URL.
Great, yeah. I'll find that.